There's a reason as handgun users that we train all the way out to 25 yards. Hi everyone, this is John with today's active self-protection lesson from Newport News, Virginia. We see here an officer-involved shooting that begins with a significantly bad event that we have a 911 call on. It's going to teach us some important lessons here about shooting under stress and about the necessity for self-defenders, particularly law enforcement officers, to be able to make a shot on a man-sized target at up to 25 to 30 yards. As an officer comes on scene, she knows that the guy that she's chasing is a suspect in a murder. Guys have been murdered. You can see the news story if you click through to my website. She's gonna come up and you're gonna see this guy here. She contacts him at about 25 yards and starts talking to him and talking, but when he doesn't respond like she wants, she knows he has a gun in his hand. She takes one shot at him right there and hits him. Now, if you look over on the right, just past the building, you can see that there's another officer and his patrol vehicle is way over there. And so now they're talking to each other. If you go watch the original, they're talking to each other and their patrol sergeant about what they're gonna do to get this guy in custody, as well as yelling at him to make sure he stays away from the gun because he's down. Now, you're gonna see the other officer had gone back and gotten his patrol rifle out of the car. Smart idea there to go get that patrol rifle if you have the time to do so and the coverage from other officers. And once he gets in a good position and they're communicating with each other where they are, she's gonna bound up to the tree. So then that way he's providing cover for her, she provides cover for him again. Then once they've secured the firearm, she's gonna come up and cuff this guy and this one is over. I think that was pretty incredible marksmanship and good communication among all of them. Once they get him in custody, they're gonna get the gun. This guy was convicted of multiple counts of murder. Now let's go back and learn some lessons on this one. There's always 8 lessons on our website. The big one I want to talk about here is the incredible marksmanship. But before that, as she's running up, one of the things that I'm noticing is she already has gun in hand. Again, she knows this guy's a murderer. She knows what's coming. Now, most of us aren't law enforcement officers, so we're not going to go running after people with firearms, but we might need to run with firearms. And 2 things if you do, you got to know to keep it pointed in a safe direction, number 1. Number 2, you got to keep your finger off the trigger like she did. So I would encourage you to keep your finger higher along the slide there, but you know, that's okay as long as it's not on the trigger. She did a good job of that. And when the threat comes, she's up and on target and knows that she can take that shot. Now, I want to ask you as a CCW carrier, as a law enforcement officer, either one, you see her take that shot, and I would estimate that the distance on that shot is somewhere between 20 and 25 yards. Under stress, she's just run about 40 yards. I'm not sure if she's using that railing as an armrest or not, but regardless, that's a pretty significant shot. So that's why we say, yeah, that 3 to 7 yard distance may be where you want to practice a lot, but you do need to know that you have the ability to put the shot on target. And that shot disabled him. It was a psychological stop, but a psychological stop counts. Now she starts communicating, and if you're working with partners, be it law enforcement officers, your spouse, another significant best friend or whatever that you're with all the time, you have to know how to communicate to know what each other's going to do. And because they were able to communicate here, and they weren't on their radios, they were just yelling across the places saying, hey, this is what you're going to do. Okay, great. We're going to get out of here if you're CCW or whatever. Because they were able to communicate well, they were able to protect one another and not let one another get in dangerous spots. And so if you have a partner with you, you got to communicate effectively, help each other to know what's going on so that you can end the threat. Here, the threat has to end with the suspect in cuffs. They did a good job of that, stopped that threat, put a shot on distance from a long way away, and covered their asp.